Hello guys, Messenger of Death here, and it's time I updated my battle formations guide. As some of the information is a little bit out of date, and I feel like there's more stuff I could definitely add to the guide. With that said, let's get this underway. So, in terms of your Digimon battle formation, there's a lot of things to cover, such as what you're strong against, what you're weak against. Generally, red means strong against that element type. Blue means you're weak against that type. So, in this case, darkness, I'm strong against. Physical attack, I am weak against, which is no element to it. So, there's a list of Digimon, strong against water, weak against grass. Strong against dark, weak against light. So on and so forth. These are important to take into consideration, and the reason why is because certain mons have certain moves. The only way you're going to know what every single mon does is either by having the mon or experiencing going up against different Digimon and seeing what moves they use. Generally, if I knew, like, I was going up against a really strong physical Digimon, I would probably switch a different team member who can not be vulnerable to it, so they take a lot less damage. General rule of thumb, these are very important. As you can see, you got F here and R here. You can toggle these by clicking them. R means they're in the rear section of the team. F means they're in front section of the team. The frontline Digimon is more likely to be attacked by Digimon than the backline Digimon. So general rule of thumb, you want your tankiest Digimon with the most HP and the most defense and resistance value to be in front if you can help it. Another tip, put that tank Digimon in your first slot. Why? Because when they go down, if they were to go down in battle, they automatically get revived for free with 1 HP. Every single time your Digimon goes down in battle, you will lose some XP. So bear that in mind. It does not eliminate that, but at least you won't have to use a revival chip on your Digimon to get them back up off the floor. They'll automatically revive, which saves you time, because then you can just immediately spend your food and heal up along the way. So how do you determine which one is your tankiest Digimon? You want to look out for this HP value and these 2 defenses. But there's a little bit of a caveat here. Let's have a look at Octomon for a moment. So Octomon has a lot less HP, but he's got more defense. So which one do I choose? General rule of thumb, for the most part, I'm going with the highest HP Digimon. Because those amount of points, like 24 defense, isn't going to make too much of a difference here. The HP will make a difference. A lot more. So generally, HP with these 2 values. There are certain Digimon like Gatomon, for example, who is incredibly squishy. Even if I put her up against viruses and vaccines strong against virus, she is really low HP. Now, she's level 76, so it's going to seem like she's a lot stronger than these. Bear that in mind. But generally, if she was around level 50 and I put her in front against level 50 Gazimon, which are viruses, they're going to mess her up big time, despite being strong against Dark, because she has such a low HP value. Notice how she's level 76 with 2050 HP, which is this guy at 39. So she's a very low HP Digimon. Despite seemingly having decent defenses, she's incredibly squishy, so I would never put her as a tank. She's what you'd call a damaging Digimon rather than a tanky Digimon. Next thing to consider is also your moves. Your move selection is very important, because like you, all wild Digimon also have strengths and weaknesses. For example, I know these Bakumon here are strong against Dark. So, because I know I'm going to be grinding here, I've leveled my physical base skill for the Bakumon instead of my darkness base skill. Because the darkness base skill would do a lot less damage because they resist it. And certain Digimon can have different types of resistances. Some can block most of the damage, some can dodge most of the damage, so less hits will hit them. And some can actually reflect damage back at you. So they'll still take damage, but you're going to be taking a lot back too. So generally, I wouldn't always use a dark skill if I could help it against these Bakumon. They don't reflect damage, but they are going to take less. But unfortunately, as you can see with my team currently, I've got a water skill here, which is good. But 2 of my mons have a darkness skill. And I have no third skill that's darkness that isn't darkness. So generally, I'm forced to use darkness here on these lovely Bakumon here. Another rule of thumb to look out for is most skills will equal around 90 to 100% if they are big damaging moves. You can sometimes get charge skills, which take a turn to charge in battle. And that means that when your Digimon comes up in the turn order in battle, they will be actually coming up to the top, then they'll go on charge, which means the Digimon can potentially get an attack in before you even get to get off your move. But charge skills are a lot stronger than your normal moves. So general rule of thumb though, 90 to 100% is going to be the damage that most Digimon skills have in terms of their second skill or third skill. In this case, if we're looking at Devimon, you see 2 times 19.23. That means I'm going to hit twice, and it's only going to do 19.23. Why is that so weak? Moves like that are always generally AoE moves. So I don't even need to use a translator here. I know that's an AoE move, because of how weak it is. Your normal damaging moves will equal to roughly around 90 to 100%. So here we got 6 times 21.66. And that's because I've leveled this skill a bit. At level 10, this will reach about 139% or something like that. To 144%. A base 100 skill, for example, like these two, would go up to 145% at level 10. Charge-based skills will go up to 200%. But they have the caveat of, you come up in turn order, you don't get to go for an attack right away. Digimon can potentially get an attack in before you, and then you'll go. Make sure you level your damaging moves over your status effects moves. The reason why is because you're going to get more damage out of your damage moves than you will off status effects. If we have a look at, say, my Vmon right here. Now turn me into Aero Vegemon. He has a skill which has a status effect. As you can see, level 8. This can stun a Digimon. But it's only got 119 base power, despite being level 8. If I was to level this to level 8, I'd have 135% base power. This would generally do more damage than this move could ever do, even if this was level 10. Status effect moves are more something to use late game, depending on what it is. There are 3 main types of status effects that you want to look out for. Stun effects, like this. Petrification, like this. You can tell by the circular symbol at the bottom. Or the ability to freeze Digimon like this, with the blue eye symbol. These are the only status effects you should ever consider going for. Generally, as you're going through the game, you're not going to have that many skill queues for maxing out your skills. And you're going to be getting new Digimon all the time that you may want to invest in. So general rule of thumb, damage skills first. Late game, worry about the status effect skills. But they are definitely very nice. The reason why I say only worry about those 3 effects is because they are the most useful, simply put. Bleed doesn't really do much damage. Poison doesn't really do much damage. Burning doesn't really do much damage. It's not worth it. What freeze, petrification, and stunning does is they allow you to make it so a Digimon misses multiple turns in battle. Freeze and petrification are a lot higher than stun. For example, if I was to freeze a Digimon, there's a chance I could take that Digimon out of 2 turns of battle. I mean, that Digimon misses 2 attacks before it gets a chance to attack. But bear in mind this warning. There are certain move types which can immediately end this effect. So, for example, when it comes to freezing, if I was to use a fire move, I'm going to immediately thaw them out. When it comes to petrification, if I have a machine type Digimon use a steel type move, it will immediately end the effect. The only way to find out this information is by translating that bit of text at the bottom. It will tell you what will end the effect. But generally, that's something to bear in mind. Many of you are probably going to me right now, well, if it could take him out of battle, why don't I level that skill, despite doing less damage? The reason why is because throughout 90% of this game, your goal is to kill the opponent as fast as possible before they get a chance to attack back. If you go up against 3 Digimon, you want to focus target on a singular Digimon, get it out, and there's only 2 Digimon left to attack you. And vice versa. You want to make sure all 3 of your Digimon going for one attack at least eliminates one opponent to make it so you take less damage in battle and makes it so that the enemy can put up less of an opposition. It also gives you more move initiative over them as well. Because as you reduce their number, you've got multiple monsters attacking over them. That's why I always say skills which do the most damage first, late game, focus on status skills. You can level them up if you want to, but when you get to ultimates, getting ultimate cubes are very low drop chance. It's not like Champion and Blues where you can get tons of them all the time. They are very rare when it comes to ultimate. And Megas, you have to craft with ultimate cubes. It's only 25% chance that you need 3 of them. So, late game, ultimates and whatnot, it's going to be a lot harder to try and level a secondary skill. So focus on one skill over all. Another thing to also bear in mind is the speed tier of your Digimon. Why does this matter? Because it lets me know which Digimon is going to go first. Whether I outspeed the enemy or not, I know which Digimon is going to be faster and go first on my team. So, generally, as we can see, I've got my Digimon ranked. So Ogumon, 143 speed, 140 speed for this guy, 126 speed for Devimon. This lets me know which Digimon is the first one to go for an attack in the middle of battle. So, I would go for Ogumon first with W, as that's the skill I've leveled up and want to use. And I go down the list, as you can see. I go for my first mon, my second mon, then my third mon. When you first start off, once you memorize those buttons, you pretty much know who to go for the most part. Who's always going to be your first mon to get an attacking, you'll know to go for that Digimon skill first, which is very important in battle. There's also a thing where people ask me about rotating the camera, changing what position your camera is in during battle. This is a hard one to pay attention to, because it depends on your keyboard layout. Now, as you can see, with me pressing a key on my keyboard, I can rotate the camera. I could have it moving. I could have it be static from the side. And as you saw there, that's a quick time event. I'll explain what quick time events do in a moment. But generally, if you want to change your camera angle, because I get asked this question all the time and it annoys the hell out of me. And the only reason why it annoys the hell out of me is because I can't really help you if you have a different keyboard layout. I'm here to try and help. That's what a guide's supposed to be for. But for me, on my keyboard layout, I have these 3 keys on it. Sorry, these 3 symbols on my keyboard. For me, it's underneath my escape key and above my tab key. That's on my keyboard layout. If you've got a different keyboard layout, I can't help you with rotating your camera in battle and choosing what position you'd prefer it to be in. I'm sorry, I just can't. Next, I'm going to cover quick time events. So as you can see right there, a quick time event popped up. And when that quick time event pops up, if I press that button, Devimon goes for an immediate skill. It doesn't cost any SP, which is basically MP in video games. And it went for this skill because that is the skill that popped up. Generally, the quick time event will always be one of these skills on your screen. So, if one of the quick time events does pop up, it will happen immediately after one of your Digimon goes for a skill, if it does pop up. Okay, now that we've covered quick time events, let's move on to something else. So there are battle items you can use in battle, like traditional Digimon games, such as your HP, floppies and stuff like that. They don't really exist in this game. Instead, we have Vials. For example, this heals 600 HP. That heals 300 SP, which is basically your MP in game for using Digimon skills. And why are these important? Because you can actually slot these on your tamer. If you press this button down here, it'll be like a circle with a bunch of squares in it. And you click this, it will bring up your tamer. And you can slot these Vials into here. You can use these in the middle of battle. Why is this important? Because it can make a difference between you winning and losing a battle. It mainly comes into play later on in the game, but it can happen in the mid to early game as well. So as we can see, my Ogumon is injured. Because I have them slotted in, I can use this HP Vial to heal my Ogumon. Boom. Look at that. Isn't that nice? As we saw, a quick time event popped up there, and I could have gone for it. If you do, it will fill this white bar. In order to use this white bar, you need to just either attack in fight in battle, and it will fill it up gradually. Or you hit the quick time event and it'll give you a boost. Once I see that is cut off there, I have one use. I know I definitely can use that once. Another thing to bear in mind is the speed of battle. Generally, you're going to be starting at 1x speed. It's a lot easier to hit quick time events when you're at 1x speed. If you click this, you can go up to 1.5. It'll say X1. If you click it, it'll go to 1.5. Meaning the battle will speed up. As you can see now, it's faster. I have a Vial currently that puts me up to 2x, so I can move at 2x speed. But it also means the quick time event will circle and disappear faster, so there's less time to press it. As you can see, I've got 2 bars right here. I can press 2 Vials before this runs out, because I now have 2 bars. Hitting a quick time event will definitely make that go up quite quickly. So bear that in mind. That can make the difference between you winning or losing the battle. If you run out of SP, you can't go for your skills. You can only basic attack. So maybe when you use your blue Vial instead of your green one, for example, to restore your SP, or a green one to restore HP if you know your Digimon's about to kick the bucket and its next attack that it takes. And obviously at the right we had turn order to bear in mind, and we know which Digimon goes first. But you can't always rely on the turn order. What do I mean by that? Sometimes Digimon can actually skip in the queue and go faster. So, as we can see, Bakumon are going after my Octomon, but there is a chance one of those Bakumon could have jumped up to the top and got an attack instantly. This can happen. It's not guaranteed, but it can happen, so you kind of need to bear that in mind. So generally, you want to make sure you can always heal if your Digimon gets to about half HP. If you saw a Digimon's attack take like half your HP off and you know your Digimon's going to go down, use a HP Vial. It will save you so much. So, I just nailed a quick time event there. As you saw, that jumped. Instead of me having to wait for that to gradually fill, it jumped up. That's what I mean by essentially hitting a quick time event will speed that up massively. Allowing me more uses in battle, so you always want to hit those if you can. In order to buy these HP Vials, unfortunately, there's only really one place for the better ones. And that is the Village of Beginnings. If you come over here to Datamon and Mushroomon, Datamon over here is going to be the mon that you can buy these Vials from. This is defense, that's attack, that's HP, that's SP. Generally, I don't really use the attack Vials or the defense Vials. I mainly go for the HP and SP ones instead. But you can use these in battle as well. Next, the most important tip of all. If you made it to the end, you get to hear this tip. So, basically, there is a system with vaccine, data, virus. It's like a triangle system. Think of it like rock, paper, scissors. Vaccine beats virus. Virus beats data. Data beats vaccine. Why is this important? Because this makes a very big difference late game. It's going to make a massive difference. Even throughout the whole entire game, it makes a difference. General rule of thumb, you want a vaccine team first. Then you'll get a virus team second. And a data team third, in priority-wise. Now, RNG can't always determine what mons you're going to get. But general rule of thumb, that's kind of what you want to prioritize. Vaccine first. Why vaccine? Because most Digimon in the game that you go up against are going to be virus. Meaning you're going to get the most run for your money out of vaccines. Data's the hardest to train because there's so many viruses which will mess your day up. And you kind of want to counter the type of Digimon you're going up against if you can at all times. So generally, if I know I'm always going to be going up against a virus, I'm always going to want to make sure I have a vaccine team to make sure I kill them a lot faster because I get bonus damage out of it from being a vaccine. And if I can, potentially use an element type which is strong against them. For example, a lot of virus Digimon often have weak light element. What that means is they're going to be weak to light-based skills. Now, unfortunately, this mon doesn't have it, but if I turn into Angelwoman, she has light-based skills. Angelwoman and Magna Agumon are probably literally two of the best vaccines in the game, because they counter so many of the Virus Digimon with their light-based skills that they are weak to. Not only are they vaccine, they are super strong against Virus. Because of that, you add in the light element and the majority of them being weak to light-based attacks, you're going to be breezing through so many fights with Angelwoman at your side, or Magna Angemon, Holy Angemon, whatever word you want to use. But you're like, hang on 1 minute, but you have a free typing here and a UK typing. What does this mean? So, free typing are neutral. They aren't strong against anything, they're not weak against anything. Meaning they have a level playing field regardless of what you go up against. So, say for example I had a free typing Digimon in-game. I could use it to fill in a slot if I don't particularly have a strong mon against them. So let's say right now I'm going up against 5 vaccines, right? But I only have 2 datas. I would probably use the free typing for my 3rd Digimon to make sure I take a lot less damage and be able to get through the fight a lot easier. Generally as well, I would put my data Digimon to be the tank, because they're going to take less damage from vaccine just by being data in the first place. But then there's unknown typing, and very few Digimon have this typing. It is incredibly rare. But what does this do? Unknown typings are strong against everything. Meaning, they aren't weak to anything, but they are strong against everything. So it doesn't matter if they've got vaccine, virus, data, unknown's going to do more damage to it. Even free typing. They're going to do more damage to them in a general rule of thumb, just because they are unknown typing. So, do bear that in mind. One last combat tip. Another thing I forgot to mention real quick is Digimon can miss moves. What do I mean by this? So, Virus against another Virus Digimon, there's a chance my skill will miss. Datas have an even higher chance of missing a Virus, but Vaccine will pretty much always hit. The only caveat to this is if that Digimon has an element that they resist, which gives them the dodge. So say for example, Angelwoman right now, say she's strong against dark as she had the dodge for that dark dodge. 25% chance of dodging. If a Data was to hit me with a dark type move, there's a chance I could avoid some of the damage by dodging some of those hits. And when it comes to multi-hit moves, the more move hits you have, that dodge chance comes into play. So in order for me to get 100% damage on this skill, I would need to hit both 50s. But let's say a Digimon had dodge light element, there's a chance one of those would miss, meaning I only get 50% damage in there. So that said, you need to also bear that in mind when it comes to type matchups. Not only do you take less damage by being the type that resists the other, the elements come into play in what they are strong or weak against. And your move accuracy can be affected by opposing types. If you're in the middle of battle, pressing space or a skill move will slow down time, giving you more time to choose an action. Take that and use it to your advantage. Pressing spacebar slows down time. I have plenty of time to plan out what I want to do right here, as you can see. So, if I wanted to, say, go for something else, say I clicked the wrong Digimon and got the wrong move, I could slow down time to make sure I get the right Digimon's move sorted. That's also important. And with that, I think I've covered basic battle formation and the most important things to know about while in battle. If you've enjoyed today's episode and found it useful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day. Peace. Have you seen me and my team? Lots of monsters here rocking with me. A digital, yeah, that's for sure. But I'm coming in with a dragon's roar. Across the skies, yeah, I'll soar. Keep knocking foes back and coming for more. You don't want to see his hands on my Digimon claws, blowing you back with a terror force.